Good afternoon. I keep wanting to say good morning, huh? Let me switch this around. Had to make sure that my telephone was off. Yeah, let me do that so that you guys don't get feedback from me. Hello. So I am playing with HSTs today. I actually want to play with flying geese. So I've got my bag of, let me fix this camera here so I can see what I'm doing on screen. So I found, I think I told you guys this, the stuff that I had cut for my chicken salad. I found that bag a while back, and in here I have 57 8.5 by 4.5 blocks and 100 4.5 by 4.5 blocks. And I'm not willing to waste these. So I'm going to pull out some of these 4.5s, maybe all of these 4.5s. And that's why this is called HSTs, anyone? Because I have some other stuff here. Let me switch you down to my desk view so you can see. Yes, I did find it as soon as I started cleaning up my sewing room. Now let's see if this works okay. So what I've got here is that's the fabric out of that bag. Look, 2 cameras, Sherlock. Pretty cool, huh? And let's see. Not great on light, but not terrible. It's fairly close to the right size. And what I thought I might do is, since I've got some 5-inch squares that I had cut from, this is sheet actually, thought I would try putting them together and doing some half square triangles out of them. I may be making some hourglass blocks because there is a quilt in the Farm Girl Vintage book that requires 600 hourglasses. And I thought, yeah, this might be a good way to use up this fabric. What do you think? And did you ever find out why Santa Claus was at the, hi Sylvia, why Santa Claus was at the Catholic Church today? It's not very dark, but I'm drawing a line across from corner to corner. And then I'm going to sew on either side of that line. Sylvia. You know, it's really funny. It is a lot of hourglass blocks. Trying to give you guys a view of the sewing machine without giving you a view of my messy other room. But I've got, like I said, I've got 100 of these, so. Sherlock, wasn't it you and I that were talking about this? The Juki and its foot that has the cutter on it. Even that rubber thing that blocks it isn't really helping me. There we go. Back that up so that I don't end up with. And I'm not going to sit here and sew these the whole time. Hello, Colleen. How are you? I saw your short had 914 views, but I don't recall ever seeing the short go up. The same with Sylvia. There we go. So I'm thinking YouTube is doing something else funny and has decided not to show shorts to anybody. was like, did you guys see mine that went up at noon? I mean, even refreshing your pages, it wasn't showing me. Now I have got, yeah, I've got the iron set up over here. Yeah, YouTube is causing trouble again. And I am going to iron these to the dark side. I didn't set up the camera so that you could see my iron too. I didn't really think that anybody wanted to see me iron. You have two going up later. I saw your bobble short. That was really cute. I'm loving your little gnomes. Now, are they going to turn into like a Christmas wall hanging like you did for Halloween, or are you going to do something different with those? Okay, and then, sorry, this camera is not 100% perfect for what I want to do. But what I'm going to do now is I'm matching up the center seams here. And I'm making sure that they stay together. You saw the Sonny and Cher short. I liked it. I thought it was cute. I saw something about Babe the pig or something somewhere. And I was like, oh, Babe, I got you. I can draw Sonny and Cher. I really can't draw Sonny and Cher. Oh, I think that's cute, Sylvia. I'm really liking those. Especially since those gnomes are like your own. I did close it. Yeah. I got you, babe. Um, since they're like your own pattern, so it's really cool. And you could sell that in your Etsy shop if you wanted to. I think the gnomes would be super cute. Aren't they like the biggest thing going right now? Or they were anyway last Christmas, I think. But I was like, oh yeah, that would be super cute. And I'm not going to sit here and make hourglasses the whole time. I just wanted to try out the new camera angle because I was trying to figure out how to put back down a little bit, how to put my old cell phone to use as this. And everybody knows that I'm practical, cheap, frugal, whatever you want to call it. And so I was looking for free ways to do it where I didn't have to download a ton of crazy apps or pay for something else. And Lifehacker, I don't know if you guys know that website, but I remember when he was just starting out as a blog. And he is very frugal too. And he put up an article about this, and I thought, okay. And he never advocates spending money. So I really like watching him because he comes up with the least expensive way to do something. So if he tells you spend money on XYZ, you can be pretty sure that he has investigated all the ways that you could do it. What I'm doing right now is cutting off dog ears. And once I cut off the dog ears, then I will figure out how big the blot needs to be. Because I'm actually working a little bit backwards here. I was telling right before you came in, Colleen, that I did find my box of that fabric that I cut to do the background on my chicken salad quilt. But of course, I'd already put that background together before I found it. Let's see. This is 4 3/4, so I'm going to do it at 4 1/2, probably. So 15 to 19. And I'm gonna right here, there's like a white edge left around my hourglass block. So I'm going to cut off that little bit of it. And then I'm going to turn it around to get my 4.5 measurement that I want. And that works out almost perfect. So I'm going to make 4.5-inch hourglasses out of these that I had left over from my chicken salad quilt. And that'll be a really good start for that other quilt that I want to do. Hello, Shirley. How are you today? And these trim down to the 4.5 perfectly. I lose a little tiny edge of that corner. I did sew an X to make the hourglass block. What I did was I made the first fabric actually bigger than but I'm not going to cut the background fabric down. I'm just going to center it and put a pin in. And then I'm sewing directly across, cutting it in half, and then I'm turning it. Do you need me to show that one more time, Sherlock? Would that make it easier to follow the thought process? I apologize that I went too fast on that second step there. My bad. I am trying to keep everything like on grain. It's the only real fussiness I'm doing. I didn't sew an X. I only sewed a single crosswise. Is there a way to do it by doing an X instead of what I just did? I basically do what I know, but I'm always willing to learn something else. Okay. I thought maybe I hadn't shown it to you properly. Okay, so what I did, let me draw that in ink so you can see it because it's not going to show anyway, was I just took, that pen didn't write. Why do I have pins over here that don't write? That's not good. I usually throw them away. So I drew one line here, and then I sewed on either side of the line. I do hope everything's okay, Shirley. I see the more blood work in there. Does that mean that they're testing for something that they think they might have seen? That's not usually a good thing. Oh, okay. I've never seen it done that way. Now, the one I am fascinated by, everybody seems to be doing flying right now. And Colleen showed part of how to do a flying goose the other day. And I need to get with Colleen and get her to show me where the measurements came from. Because I liked her method of doing flying geese. It didn't require a ruler. Okay, so I did on either side of that first line that I drew. I saw that. Who was the other one? Oh, the black button. I saw it from Angel and I saw it from Tracy at my sewing channel. I don't know which one did it first, but or at the sewing channel. So then what I did once I had my 2 half square triangles, Hi Beverly for Sherlock, is then I matched up the centers of those half square triangles right there and the edges of them because I wanted them to stay together. You need me?
I smell electric.
Because I've got the iron on.
Okay, right.
We're always concerned about fires. Okay. Colleen says she's got 5 minutes and she's got to go. Playing chauffeur to a college kid is not fun. I'm sure he would rather he could drive it too, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw. Now I've matched up so that the colors are on opposite sides. So there's the green on that side, and there it is on that side. And I'm making my middle seams go together because I want those to be close. Everything else is going to get trimmed, but those middle seams might not. Do I have that far enough over? I fiddle. Sorry. It's my bad thing that I do. And then I'm going to draw a line from corner to corner again. And I'll use my ink pen this time since it seems to have decided it was still not right. I'm going to call it bad things, and I'm not allowed to use those words on YouTube. All right. And it seems a little off, but I've drawn it from corner to corner on the green, not on the white. And I'm going to put this down here. I'm putting pins in it to make sure that nothing shifts when I pick it up. Just my own little insurance policy. Angel has screwing up panels. Yeah, I think we all do fiddle when we sew. If you don't, I mean, some people fiddle more than others and they drive me nuts with it. Sorry, I didn't bring you guys back over to the sewing machine. Give me 2 shakes and I'll be back over there. Some people fiddle way more than I'm comfortable with, and some people are just perfectionists. Now, if you're doing like FPP or something, I think you're going to fiddle anyway. Oh, Colleen, you have a great day. The dog just scared me. I was like, what is that over here? The dog. He's gotten awfully what's the right word for her lately? Ornery. She's gotten awfully ornery. And before I cut it down the center, I'm cutting off that excess fabric from the background, just so that I don't have to do that after I get the block put together. And right there, it's just going to be that little bit of dog ear. All right, now let's cut it in half at the center. And like I said, I've got to get Colleen to teach me how to do that flying geese block thing she was doing, because it looked super quick and it didn't require a big special ruler. All right, so there's one. And there's the other one. Shirley, I understand 100%. I took warfarin for a long time. The iron is brand new and it smells like electric, not like booze. But I've also got the iron sitting on an acrylic mat and or a silicone mat, and that has a different odor. 4.5. All I have to do is cut off my little HST or my little dog ears from my HSTs. That's what Wayne said he smelled, was electric, not booze. You're a trip, Sherlock. Guys, we're trying to convince Sherlock into doing videos, because I have a feeling she'd be a hoot on video. I'm gonna iron that one first before I trim. But the wool mat under there smells worse than having it on the silicone mat, Sherlock. So that's kind of what I'm avoiding. And I'm going to trim this up to 4.5. Get all my edges straight. And then, since I'm planning on doing that bigger quilt, I may sew the 4 together. And store them in this bag that I've got my other fabric in, so that when I'm ready to make that quilt, I have them all in one place. Oh, beautiful. All right, so now we have 4 of them, and I can turn them any way I want. We could do them, you know, like that. Let's see, this one this way, this one this way. And then we'd have a, I love you, a start on our 600 hourglass blocks that we need for that quilt. And you know, I've only got 100 more of these. She was looking for Sweetie over the intercom, huh? But I figure, you know, if I want to make hourglass blocks from this, it's going to take a while. And it's just going to have to be like doing the pineapple blocks. I'm not doing them all on camera. You guys would be bored out of your minds. Let me push this back to the other camera. And let's see. Oh, thank you. Is the straw for that one cleaned? Come on, show my video. I didn't intend to go away completely here. All right, now let's switch cameras. Thank you. Can we do that? There we are. See? It's not huge. I mean, even 600 at 4.5 inches, Sylvia, is still not going to make a huge quilt top. But I don't have the book here handy. The quilt that I'm imagining, Wendy Gypsy Woman made it a while back. It's got the great big country truck. Thank you. It's got the great big truck, the red truck at the top. And then the bottom section of it is all hourglass blocks. Now, I may decide to do hourglass blocks mixed in with my Farm Girl vintage blocks. 600 is a lot, Beverly, but they could be done as leader enders. I'm going to look here real quick and see how big like a 4 patch of these comes out to be. A 4 patch of them is going to be a 7-inch block. So I may not use all of them. And I may even have to cut it down further because my thank you, my Farm Girl vintage blocks are 12.5, I think. Yeah, so, or I may have to stash them with something. But what I'll probably, that's kind of what I'm thinking I want to do with that. Carol Thelen has a new, is it Thelen or Thelen? Using a 9 patch. No, I haven't, but that's interesting. And remember that my bag has in here, it's 100 of those 5-inch squares or 4.5-inch squares, but I've also got 57 8.5 by 4.5-inch squares. So I could use those as sashing or in other blocks to make up the rest of it. But I kind of want to do the one that's got that big, great big truck in it, and that big truck with the rounded top, the old fashioned one. So that's what I was kind of thinking I would do with those. And I wanted to work on those HSTs. Now I do have a way to make half square triangles 8 at a time, but I don't have the fabric cut to do that. I've already got fabric cut for these that I can make into hourglasses. Or I could throw pinwheels in there or whatever I want. Yep, Sylvia, look at you go, Sherlock. She's learning how to use that bot too. Yeah, 600 is a lot. Mm. My husband, I've been drinking water the last couple days. My husband found a bottle of Diet Coke in the car and brought it in and made me a glass. I was like, yay. Let's see, Sylvia, Colleen, there's Tracy for Craft a Simple Life, Tracy A for Tracy Albert, who I don't see in here today, which is unusual. Let me see if she's even awake. I'm going to send her a text. My Zoom login is expired on my phone. Okay, whatever. As long as you guys can see me, I'm good. Tracy is like my biggest cheerleader. And that's Craft Simple Life. Hi, Faith. How are you today? I have been thinking about you a lot. Hoping everything's okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if Tracy at Craft a Simple Life is gonna start doing videos again. She's still recovering from big surgery earlier this year. And Deborah Holden is, have you finished putting together your sewing room yet, Deborah? I know you were working on it. Now, each of these little 4.5-inch pieces gives me 2 hourglass blocks when I'm done. And what I really probably need to do is go find another sheet in my stash and cut it up into the right size blocks to make these half square triangles and then make the hourglasses. Because having blocks that are a little bit off is not necessarily the best way to do it. Everybody's wanting to know why you smelled the booze whenever my iron was going, honey. I said, no, he doesn't smell booze, he smells electric. And the iron is definitely the smell. I haven't heard from Lori this week, but I did see, I think I saw a personal Facebook post from her. Oh, the pneumonia vaccine swelled your arm. Oh, you just have not your arm. Is it live or denatured vaccine? Awesome, Deborah. Very cool. So you're making huge progress, it sounds like. I could be wrong. I know you were talking about ironing all your fabric last week. That's why I was curious how much progress you had made. Or maybe you were talking about it at Monday. Some Halloween stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I thought I saw too, was Halloween stuff. And stuff with the kids. So yeah. She's got, I guess she's now got 4 of the kids or 6 of the kids living in her house instead of just the 2 she had before. Yeah, you might need to, Faith. You may be having an allergic reaction to something in that. I think one of the things they showed whenever I got my last COVID shot was eggs, and I think pneumonia has the same thing, or the pneumonia shot has the same thing, is eggs. The one that scares me is the shingles shot. The one that they keep going, shingles doesn't care. And I'm like, would you shut up, please? I'm so sick of hearing shingles doesn't care. I thought, okay, folks. But yeah, that shot scares me just because the list of side effects is like 4 miles long. You're not allergic. Well, maybe you weren't before, but that may be what's happening now. I think by the time they give us all these shots, I mean, they usually give them when we're all little kids, which isn't such a big deal. But when they start giving us these shots as grown-ups, I think they can cause allergies quicker. And, especially when we're older grown-ups like me. Yeah, that shingle shot is like, wow. Just the risk of death and this, that, and the other. And I don't even watch television. Wayne watches, is it Peacock? Freebie, free TV. Yeah, that's what it is. Wayne watches Freebie, and it's through Amazon Prime, and it sounds great. And you're not having a reaction to the flu shot, right, Faith? But that Freebie, you have to watch ads every so often, just like commercial TV, in order to watch it for free. And the commercials, oh my goodness. One day it was, well, it's like they go in spells.
Guard.
Yeah, yeah, Cologuard. Oh, it's not invasive. Took us a while to figure out that means you're depositing your
Number two.
your number two, there you go, in a box and mailing it to somebody. I would not want to be the mailman that's to handle that. I was like, ooh, that's gross. I know that they send samples, through various services, but aren't they usually like labeled? And I mean, can you imagine? Ugh, no, thank you. These are the conversations we have when we're alone at home. I know we're terrible, right? I might as well organize jelly rolls, squares, fat quarters. Well, yeah. So did you order like drawers to put them in or shelves to put them on, Deborah? Well, we'll get off the subject of that box. Find something else to talk about. I won't keep you on the fabric. But all I'm doing is I'm sitting here, I'm trimming the fabric so they match and drawing my lines on so I can sew them. I figure that's probably not what you guys want to watch. The cutting might be okay, or the cutting of the blocks once they're sewn, but I like to watch sewing. Yes, and we're old. Apparently. Well, actually, there's two categories to talk about that stuff. Faith, it's old people and people with little kids. Truthfully, because when my kids were little, it was like we were always having conversations, or I was always having conversations with my girlfriends about the kids going to the bathroom and the color of their nose stuff. And yeah, not it's old people and people who are raising babies. And that is why I think that people who are in similar stages of raising children gravitate to one another. It doesn't have anything to do with how old they are. It's got to do with how old their kids are. That's the biggest thing. Okay, Sylvia. You got shelves, but you ordered fabric baskets. Did you order pretty fabric baskets or just utilitarian ones? I'm always kind of like, I really want the pretty ones, but then the utilitarian ones hold more. Colleen got a really pretty basket at Dollar Tree the other day, and I thought that was super cute. And yeah, I've been lurking on her little basket thing. Or not at Dollar Tree, at Dollar General. I think she said she paid $5 for it. It's a little like buffalo plaid checked basket. And yes, we are bad about that, Faye. Well, you're not old, I am. On some of these, I'm going to put the colors together. You ordered utilitarian ones. Yeah, they see, that's why they last longer. I'm good with a spray paint can though. I'm telling you, I am good with a spray paint can. If I ordered something in purple and now I think pink would look better, I'll whip out a spray paint can and slap spray paint on something in a heartbeat. The only thing I have a problem with, and I think it's because of the generation I come from, is painting wood. I have these little wooden dressers in my sewing room that have like those cupboard pulls that are really popular right now, but they're wood, and I really would like them to be white, but I cannot bring myself to paint them white. I don't, I do know why, but it's still frustrating. It's like, why can't you just paint them, Melissa? Just do it. And I use them to hold all those little sewing notions, like, boxes of pins and needles and hand needles, bobbins, all that little stuff that you need, but you don't want 4 billion containers floating around. That's what I use mine for. And I keep thinking, gee, it would be so much easier if I did, this or that. And it would look so much more uniform if I painted it white or blue or purple or whatever the color du jour is. Do you guys paint things? I also use my Cricut and my scan and cut to label things. I have a label maker, but the label is real tiny. And if I want, like, for flour in the kitchen, I've got like 3-inch tall letters on that. What did we get? No. Okay. So Deborah, are you going to end up looking like Becca's sewing room with all the shelves with all the nice and neatly stacked? Becca does it. Erica aren't. Um, there's another one I'm thinking of who's got those really cute. Oh, Yvette, Yvette Renee. She has got her all those white shelves behind her are gorgeous. And I was noticing the other night on her live that she had her shelves binder clipped together to make them stay together. And I thought, well, that's really cute. And I'm assuming, yeah, I need to start making videos for the Cricut and the brother both. But I'm assuming that Yvette will paint those binder clips at some point, or maybe she'll leave them black. I don't know, but they look, I mean, the shelves look really good, and the binder clips must be to keep everything nice and sturdy and close together. And my ear itches, and it's my left ear, so that means somebody's talking bad about me. They need to quit. I don't like that. But I guess if they're talking bad about me, they're leaving somebody else alone, right? So there is that trade-off. Awesome, Deborah. I am not meaning to harass you about it. I'm just super curious, which you may already know. I think I was the first person to say, oh, I want to see pictures. Because I'm an organizing nerd and I always want to see what somebody else came up with. Because I might steal your idea. And there's another one who has a super gorgeous space, and she put this video up 10 or 12 years ago, and I'm subscribed to the channel only because every once in a while I go back and look at this room, and I call it the I Love Lucy room. She does too. If you guys have never heard of Angel Paramedic, she has probably the most organized small sewing space I have ever in my life seen. Her husband and she built drawers underneath her tabletops to hold thread, and her machines still work. She has gutters up on her walls to hold ribbons. First time I ever saw anybody use gutters. It's just absolutely one of the most gorgeous rooms I've ever seen. And every once in a while I go back and look at it so I can sit and tell myself I'm not worthy. We're not worthy. Like they did in Wayne's World. Because I just dated myself, didn't I? I'm old. But the level of organization is just astonishing. Okay, good, Faith. I'm glad you called the doctor. I'm anxious to hear what they tell you because I'm certain that that's going to be. I mean, they may just prescribe some Benadryl or something like that, maybe a topical. But I would like to. I know you're older than me. That doesn't mean we don't match. Deborah, I think that this room, I'll put a link if I can do it. I'll put a link in my community tab to the video for Angel Paramedics room. She lives in a trailer, I think, or did. And this room wasn't very big, which is what caught my eye to start with. And she used to be a member of a group that I was on, which is how I heard about her. But like I said, the room is so organized that every once in a while I just have to go back and look at it because it's just that good. And all the stuff that she came up with back then was new and it was all novel ideas. It was things people hadn't been doing. And Shirley, good luck. I hope the doctor finds nothing wrong. But yeah, Angel Paramedic. I'm just still marking half square triangles, so figured I'd do that while we chit chat. Yeah, my sewing room's small, and I've actually got this whole space out here that I can sew in, but yeah, I really need to condense myself back into my sewing room. I feel like I've taken over half the house. And every once in a while, my husband will say, "Oh, you want to take over the living room too?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I probably shouldn't." We talked about literally putting my sewing area in the living room when we bought this house because I have so much stuff. And now my campaign is he's got a 20 by 30-foot shed out for outside. I don't really want to sew in a shed outside the house, but I'm kind of looking at it thinking it might give me room for everything I do. Yeah. Shirley at Around to It also has, excuse me, a very organized sewing room. She's another one who makes me look like, I'm a slacker. She gave a tour of hers and I was just like, wow. Yeah, if you think your room is really organized and I don't mention it, don't think I don't notice. I do. I do. I notice and I pay attention. And I'm probably jelly of your room. That's not my strong suit is organizing. You're weeding out the sewing room. Yeah, don't let Sherlock tell you too much. She's got 2 sewing rooms just like me. I had ironed all this fabric whenever I put it in this bag, but apparently the bag isn't even enough to keep it all from getting wrinkles. So I'm having to iron some of it as I go. Guys, a sneak peek of how much I've got. If you care to see. Beading, hand embroidery. Yeah, I do a lot of crafty stuff. As you guys have probably seen in my shorts lately, I draw, I color, I paint, I use colored pencils. I can't do most of the little I can't do most of the little handcrafts. Cross stitch is hard for me. I can still crochet, but I can't do a lot of the hand embroidery and the crewel work and the beading. I can't hold beads at all. Let me switch cameras here. Beads are just a joke for me. And then this is what I've been doing while we've been talking. I've just been putting the squares together. I'm trying to do dark and light together, but I'm putting them together and stacking them up over here. I may use them as leader enders while I'm sewing other stuff with the ultimate goal of turning them into, more half square or more hourglass blocks. But I figure that I'll do that. And then I also have, you guys will be able to see this. This is back fabric. This is pieces of muslin and sheet, other white fabrics that I've cut up and used in various things. So I save all those little scraps because when I'm scrap sewing, I want to be able to grab those easily. So that box stays pretty close. Yeah, Beverly, same issue here. And I think it was Monday. We were talking about this, about my ring. Sometimes I can wear it. You can see right there, I'm not swollen. But sometimes even when I'm not wearing it, it call into Zoom and do another. How do you keep the fabric from getting dirty if it's out? What do you mean, Faith? Like for this box, it closes up completely. Well, if I can manage it. So that's the box of white fabric. And then this is the fabric that I'm pulling from for the to make the half square triangles. And once I start sewing the other blocks into half square triangles, I'll probably do 10 or 15 of them at a time, cut them up and then put them either in a Ziploc bag or a small box too. So they won't be out for very long. Hello, Marie. How are you today? Yeah, Deborah, that's a great idea. Yeah, cross stitch and beading are tough on me too. I don't do beading anyway. I don't think I've seen. Does she like red lipstick and she's a brunette with a page boy? I may have seen her. She does have a pretty face if I'm thinking of the same person. If I'm thinking of the right person, yeah, she does. She's got, I think she organizes rainbow style too, if I remember right. I'm almost positive that's the right girl. In my mind, I put her and Icy Stars Quilting together. I don't know why, because they probably don't even know each other. But that's the mental association I make there. Similar styles, maybe, is the why behind that. And Marie, what are you doing today? I apologize. I've missed everybody's live. I even missed Brandy's. And since I'm a mod for Brandy, I try to be there every week on time with no issues. Oh, I'm so sorry. Laryngitis has got to stink. That would probably be the only thing that would shut me up, though, is laryngitis. I have days where, I seem to clear my throat an awful lot. And when I listen to myself back, I'm like, but I'm sorry you have laryngitis. That's, for a YouTuber, that's like, huge, huge problem. Especially when you're like me and you like to talk. Um, is it just laryngitis? Have you been to the doctor or do you know what's causing it? Can't say what it is because somebody might steal your idea. I won't steal ideas. I might borrow them. Ooh, Deborah, those are really pretty and crazy quilts. If you like to crazy quilt at all, especially if you do blanket stitch, something about silk scraps and the blanket stitch along the edge of it is really cute. You could make a really nice, if you're into like dresser scarves and that kind of thing, that would be really pretty. You could turn them into a jacket or a purse, sew them together, and then put interfacing on the back. Trying to think of what else I can come up with. My brain is going, yes, yes, yes. Little purses, pockets on jackets if you don't have enough to make a whole garment. Put them together and make them as lining for a purse. Oh, you sound like a squeaky mouse. I bet that's cute, Marie, even though it's frustrating. Do you have that sounds like fibromyalgia or arthritis to me, because that's my almost constant state. I won't say constant, but it's up there. I hope it's not. I hope you don't have anything chronic like that because that is not fun, but sometimes that's why we have problems. Marie, I don't think there's any ideas left to steal. I yeah, I look around and I'm like, oh, that person's doing the same thing that I'm doing. Deborah, Colleen just made some real, but that might be cute. Make them into earrings or some kind of bracelet. Okay, well, you already know what they feel like. So, and we have, I don't know what CRPS is, unless it's can't remember people's stuff. And I'm not meaning to laugh at you. We have a lot of dust here, Faith. So yeah, I understand that. That's why I put most of my stuff either in boxes or plastic bags. Oh, I don't know. Maybe they dust frequently. Maybe they have a dehumidifier. We run a dehumidifier fairly regularly in the summertime. Not as much in the winter, but definitely in the summer. Because it is so humid here that everything feels like it's. I wasn't meaning to make light of your medical condition, Marie. I just was. We had a friend who owned a company called CRS Plumbing, and it was his initials, but he always told people it meant he can't remember stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, Marie. You wouldn't bore me, but I get it. Yeah, I've touched on my birthmark and the birth defect that goes with it on lives on occasion, but I need to just make a whole separate video, and not because, okay, and not because people aren't interested, but because those who don't want to hear about it might want to not watch the video and then I'm hoping that when I do make the video about it, because I have an orphan disease, it's a birth defect. I'm hoping that when I do make it, that it'll give some hope to people whose children are born with it, because the prognosis that they tell you whenever you're first born with the defect I have is pretty grim. You're gonna lose half your brain, you're gonna be epileptic, you're gonna be retarded. The kid's not gonna live. They started me off telling my mom I wouldn't live to 12, then 16, then 20, then don't have kids, then 30, then 40, and I'm 56. And I'm still kicking and making people mad. So I'm like, yeah, somebody might need to hear that out there, that the doctors don't always know what they're doing. Yeah, I usually make jokes out of things that I don't want to be, that I don't know what else to say about. There we go. But I'm not ever trying to be smart alecky. That's not my style. And I don't ever pick on people. That's something I don't do. I definitely feel for you on the arthritis, though. I'll have to look the complex pain syndrome thing up and see what the ins and outs of that is. My one girlfriend, her daughter married a man who they were convinced he was a lazy piece of and after she passed, he finally was in the hospital. It was like every time anything went down that might require him to work or do anything, or you know what I mean, it looked like he was just a lazy bum. Turns out he has something called adrenal insufficiency syndrome, and whenever he gets stressed, his adrenaline levels and his cortisol levels go completely out of whack and he can't function. Fabric painting. Where did that come from, Faith? I have been painting on fabric. Do you like watching fabric painting? I did some in some shorts recently because I thought it was cool to watch. You can't hear me? Did it just happen that you can't hear me? Deborah? Did that help any with you being able to hear me, Deborah? Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna tilt this down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. I thought maybe the Zoom had messed up. I was just thinking to myself, the Zoom seems to be holding out today. It went in and out. That's not cool. Maybe it's got noise canceling in it because the dishwasher just cycled. Oh, that could be because of the cameras. I'm trying a slightly different setup, Marie, so that because last week, every time I touched my camera, even accidentally, it ended the live. It like kicked me completely out. Or on Monday, that was, we tried 3 times to get it done. And today I was like, well, let me see if I can set this up. And I was hoping that having 2 cameras would give us a backup if there were issues. That was the thought behind that. Faith just said fabric painting, though. I'm curious what that's about. My little antenna went, hey, fabric painting. Yes. What are we talking about? You use plastic totes for your fabric? Yeah, I use a lot of plastic stuff for mine. All purchased before they started saying that plastic was horrible for everybody. And as you can tell, all I'm doing down here is just putting these together and drawing lines on them. And then I'll do the sewing. Awesome, Marie. I'm always interested in stuff like that. And I know that there are several nurses. Ooh, 42 of 50 on the pain scale. I'm not even sure that I've ever been to that point, except for one night when I had the very first time that the rheumatoid ever got a big joint, it got my knee. And I came up out of bed like I was on fire. I woke up screaming. And now they gave me Toradol at the ER, and now I'm like, ah, that level of pain, yeah, I'm used to that. Let me take some medicine. And my pen is about done writing on fabric, I think. Okay, guys, and then I wanted to ask you guys something while we were all here. I did do a poll on the community tab. I've got to put the Angel Paramedic video up there too. I'm going to switch back to the other camera and see if the mic resolved. Can you guys hear me okay? I did do a poll on the community tab about doing a sewing bee maybe once a month or so. And what I was thinking was like the one we did last Saturday was at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday. And we invited Sylvia and I invited Colleen. I like both of them, and I will probably always extend the invitation to them. But if any of the others of you guys are interested in either being on the sewing bee, like via Zoom, and you just bring your own project and work on, and we'll chit chat. And I'm thinking maybe once a month on a Saturday, hour, 2 hours max. I don't think that it should go much longer than that. And I want to watch Mom and Pop, which is always a big deal. So I'd try to avoid the Saturdays where they're doing 12 hours. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. And if you are interested, or if you have a creator that you're interested in me inviting, feel free to post that on the community tab. There are some people that I probably won't collaborate with. And do you guys want it to only be sewing people? Because I also draw and paint and fabric paint and all that stuff. And I'd be interested in talking to people who don't necessarily just quilt or just sew. And it's not an interview format. It's just, okay, Marie, I definitely, that you were one of the reasons I was asking that. It's not an interview format. It's more of just everybody gets to chit chat and work on their projects that they've got going on. It's more of a relaxed thing for everybody. Bring your cup of coffee, bring your project, we'll all sew along together and then see, kind of where it goes from there. Okay. And the other reason that I kind of want to do it as a relaxed sewing bee format is for people like you, Faith, who I don't always think of, oh, I should do this as a video because it would show someone how I accommodate something. But sometimes when you're just doing regular stuff, your regular sewing routine, it shows other people how you accommodate for arthritis in your hands, weakened shoulders, that kind of stuff. Sherlock's gonna learn Zoom. Okay, and I'm thinking right now it'll still be a broadcast thing. Maybe as the channel grows, we'll need to take it to an offline thing, a Zoom meeting offline. But for now, I think we're going to do it as a broadcast on YouTube until it needs to go offline, until we decide that needs to happen. Well, yeah, coffee's important, Deborah. I had my 2 cups of coffee, and I'm getting extra caffeine because hubby brought me in some Diet Coke. So yay. I get an extra Diet Coke this week. I buy X number of bottles every week, and that's all I have. So I was like, yeah. Very nice, Marie. Very nice. Yeah, it's nice to sew with somebody else. It really is. I normally do with like Colleen or with Sylvia, but I'd definitely be interested in having you on. Last week it was supposed to be Sylvia and Colleen. Sylvia had a family emergency. I gotta wear makeup. All I wear is YouTube lipstick, Sherlock. I don't have any other makeup on. Zoom has a nice little feature though. It will smooth out your appearance a little bit. I have a red dot right here on my chin. I don't think you guys can see it. I think Zoom is taking care of that. Well, Deborah, you can't forget your coffee. You got to drink that. Okay, so we have been on just about an hour, and obviously you guys know I like to run just about an hour. So let me do this, if it'll let me do it from where I'm sitting. I'm trying to get it to let me do it anyway. Why did you stop on me, you silly thing? Hope I didn't just kill it. Welcome to Chat Practically Creative. If you comment, people will know you're subscribed to this channel. Well, who knows what? I think you're in there, Marie. And Sylvia. I would have sworn you were in my bot, Marie. Hold on just a second. I will do this. Let's see. Not trying to give you guys a free shot. I'm leaning across my desk to try to make sure that I get everybody entered there. All right. Did I get everybody? Lori usually tells me. Make sure I put all my in. Oh, Tracy. Duh. I texted Tracy A, but she didn't apparently didn't see it. Okay, so I am going to say goodbye. I'm going to ask you to, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up before you leave. And I appreciate you guys all coming to hang out with me today. You can have on PJ's Faith as long as they're decent. You can wear whatever you like. You just can't come naked because YouTube doesn't let you do that. And I have a friend who would, so I'm not warning you because I think you would. I do know people who would go naked on YouTube and be perfectly fine with it. All right, guys, you all have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday if I don't see you before then. Thank you, Marie. I appreciate it. And I don't know what else to say except bye.